Jay Bradley is a Best of the Net and Pushcart Prize nominated writer whose work has appeared in numerous literary journals, including Decomp, Hobart, and Prairie Schooner. He was the interviews editor of Pank, the flash fiction editor of Nap, and the web editor of Monkey Bicycle. He's the author of the poetry collection Dodging Traffic, the novella Bodies Made of Smoke, and the graphic poetry collection The Bones of Us. And graphic, not like, well, maybe it is graphic in a sexual nature, but also like illustrated, and it's really cool. And that just came out from Yes Yes Books, and that's mostly I think what you're going to be reading from tonight, right? All up in that. So that's new stuff. And he's the curator of the Central Florida reading series There Will Be Words. So yeah, let's give it up for Jesse.
Hey, y'all. We can do a little bit better than that. Hey, y'all. All right. Now I'm going to either make you very sad, make you drink even more, or both. Possibly. So the bad thing about a graphic poetry collection is you're only getting the audio version of the graphic poetry collection. If you like what you hear, there are copies over at Book Market. Oh, yeah, that would also help. I'm reading and I forgot to silence my cell phone. Shame on me. So let me do that. All right. So these poems were written from 2010 to 2011 when I was getting divorced. And I have to say this because some of the context within the poems, or the content of the poems that you're going to hear, I am getting married again in October. Yay! Yeah. Yeah. So please keep that in mind as I'm reading some of these. Collection. When I hear jewelry commercials on the radio say it's engagement season, I imagine restaurants scattered across meadows where young men grind themselves on bended knee. I want to wield doubt like a hatchet, scalp the blustering grooms who rehearse in front of bathroom mirrors, gut their smiles with, "You will not find the future in the train of her wedding dress." Feel free to applaud between poems or wait, save it all the end. It all depends on or you don't have to applaud, that's fine too, but generally with readings, there's not like a defined code of conduct within each one. Tourism. As my friend pulls me away from the woman with coloring book arms, all I think is, I love being in art galleries. I've explored rural museums, butterflies pinned on lower backs, the outsider exhibition mused by a halo of broken bottles, the peel of bandages on lonely ribbon-cutting ceremony. I fold memories like a program, tear them into pieces, feed lovers the reproductions of spoiled canvases and hands. I'll tell them they need no totems for me to lose myself in their wings and halls. Christened. After we crack this cheap champagne across the bows of our tongues, I am ready to be your mistake. We will kiss like passengers without flotation devices. Hang on to the side of the bed like a loose plank. There's a phone number you'll maroon me on. I will forget how to ask for help. Okay. So this next piece, just a show of applause. How many of you have tried getting into a relationship after a really bad breakup? Like right away. How many of you regretted that decision? Yeah. This is quadriplegic. I cannot memorize anything except your smiles. That one night where Yingling gave our hands courage and lobster claw costumes. You are not a Band-Aid. You are the laser cannon I want grafted on my shoulders to blow holes into mountains. Your fingertips the contact. The battery pack of your breath giving me the energy to destroy something majestic, because what is truly beautiful stands behind me. I get why you're afraid to like me. I'm built like a sidekick and woo like a landmine. I should be afraid to like you this much so soon, but I'm really good at falling and forgetting to pick myself up. Your signals are scrambled. I wish sometimes they would just be mixed. I know I'm not worth waiting for. I never expected you with your arms open like a finish line once I crossed the distance between the past and the future. I'm no hero. I have hands like sieves. I cannot fix or hold onto anything. I think everyone in the audience can safely say that one of the worst decisions you can make in life is to drink liquor from plastic bottles. Because the hangover is probably one of the worst that you've ever experienced. Cosmonaut. The house is a pulmonary system of pocket universes. We lose ourselves in the vacuum of auto-tune, drift toward the outer rims of conversations and plastic Dixie cups. Bottles of Banker's Gin collapse like white dwarves in our throats. In the morning, we will smack our lips, ruin the cotton in our cheeks. Our heads are capsules in the seams. Ready for processing. I let my mother do all the talking as the engagement ring wedding band set spills out of the box and into the jeweler's hand. I'm sorry it didn't work out, he says. I couldn't make eye contact with him until he asks how much I expect to make from the set. My mother balks a little when I ask for half of what I paid. We talk about the consignment arrangements, collection details, cell phone numbers to call when it happens. I look at the other jewelry in the consignment section as he enters the ring into the system with the other prisoners. The foreclosures, pointing fingers, the funds for an FU bender. It makes me a little sick to see my artifact of failure take its place in the glass case. I hope the next woman's finger doesn't wither. Her relationship doesn't spiral like October leaves. That's just a fantastic soundtrack in the back. It's nice. It brings a nice sense of levity, in the pauses between poems. Hollywood summer. I'm learning how to love while keeping my prescribed wine glasses at home. Though 70% of our bodies are water, I will not quantify how into you I am with lakes and rivers. Here, the oceans are barren. I'm glad you do not ask, where are all the love poems? You are gossip I share with mirrors alone. The National Guard will see you now. When you walk into my apartment, you'll declare martial law. The office park of wine glasses and cereal bowls on the table in the living room remains 90% vacant. To encourage me to clean my place, my mother calls me a hoarder. How can I explain the necropolis in the sink, the vacuum as outsider art, as barricades, keeping me away from arms that aren't yours? Home tied to a brick and thrown through your window, pretend style. The urge to make you a card with an owl on a bough saying, I swoon over you, never came. There would be stick figures with glasses, clothes hanging off our crooked limbs, awkward pipe cleaner fingers entwined. You would turn the page for the X-rated version. I cannot draw our future. Only hope there are no erasers around. I think I'm going to read something a little more lighthearted. So it took me a little bit to really appreciate the whole concept of drinking by yourself. And I know some of you are like, drinking by yourself is sad. No, it's not. Seriously. Especially when you have good bourbon at home. Marooned. There's a quiet dignity drowning alone in the adult swim of mixed drinks. No bar tab requiring the sacrifice of a credit card. No jukeboxes playing for the deaf. No doors coughing you out like nicotine jerky after last call. Alone, you are Poseidon. You'll pick the Spanish galleon of last night from your throat without searching for snip strings slumping from your wrists, ankles, or jaw. Emphysema. Our pollution clings to the walls of my bedroom like a lung. Every time the door wheezes and coughs me out to the hallway, I hope my sighs choke like canaries so I can skin and stuff each one and place them next to your fingernails. The monogamist experiences his first amicable breakup. Her fingers deliver the eulogy from the small of my back. We gather our mouths, arms, clothes remain intact. No police watch. The furniture stays indoors. No signed document to hang on the refrigerator. Only the armrest divides our last car ride. I'm sorry I couldn't be synonymous with home. I've got two more. But first off, thank you, Borough Press, for having me and Erica Reed at Fringe. Can I get a big round of applause for Borough Press? Also, I know Ryan's already said it. Come to East End Market tomorrow for the book fair. There's going to be plenty of authors that you can talk to that will answer questions. You can buy books. There Will Be Words actually also has some of the chapbooks from the last 5 or 6 months that will also be selling there, including Susan Lilly's, the last scrap of Susan Lilly's solo collection, When We Were Stardust. But seriously, also too, if you really like poetry and you like Erica and I's work and whatnot, feel free to stick around and talk. There's also going to be a couple of poetry shows afterwards. This is No More Merlot. I talked to the past in the wine store. Our ring fingers didn't burn like a bridge when waving hello. For a moment, I asked myself, is this like old times? Before remembering the whys behind our I don'ts. There are things about you I miss. The rattle of your laugh, wine-induced courage, our invention of climate-controlled cuddling. You became lead, I rolled off my shoulders. I was a less than amazing husband, treating your body like the right side of an isosceles triangle. We always laughed when we told people how we met when I asked you to be on the left. I'm not sorry for the 6 years, the mistakes, the blackouts. Had the vows of our bed made the neighbors remember our names. I'm sorry we weren't grown enough to sheathe the blame. Seeing you isn't like salt. These arms were not the shelter you needed. I understand now that I move like a patchwork of rooms. You don't live here anymore. This is my last one. Thank you all for coming out for this. This is called The Astrology of Running into Your Exes. Cigarette ashes grow from tongues, curl around gums and gullets. As the beer bottle empties, it will remind you of her hand. When the beer bottle smacks the wall adjacent to a trash can, do not study the constellation of brown glass. Do not say, it sounds just like you. Thank you all.